Bishop Siphiwo, thank you so much for talking to us during this plenary being held here at Khanya House, the SACBC headquarters. Now, as you know, second plenary has just recently concluded, and one of the highlights was youth, young people, the need to journey with young people, that young people are the now of the church, which has also been a call throughout the whole synodal process, and of course, the closing mass taking place at the same time of the Jubilee for Young People being held in Rome. What are your words to our young people who are faced with so many challenges, especially looking at 60% unemployment rate, looking at gender-based violence, human trafficking that is constantly on the rise? There's just so much going on affecting our youth and our young people who are the now and the future of the church.
Thank you very much, Shaila. Good afternoon, and I think good afternoon to our young people and the church at large. Talking about the young people and the scenario they find themselves in, or we as the church find the scenario with our young people now, it is safely to say, it is nice and safely to say that our youth indeed, as they are the now of the church, we need to sort of support them so that they can find and map ways to accept the challenges, to go through the challenges, and never give up hope in the situation. I think when we talk of SECAM, that has most probably talked about the youth, we think very much of our own kind of conferences that are dealing with the youth in their respective dioceses, respective conferences, and indeed respective parishes as well. Our youth need our accompaniment. They need people to support them because they've got so many challenges. You have asked them, if you have questioned me, they've got challenges of unemployment, they've got challenges of abuse, they've got challenges of human trafficking, and our youth, indeed, even if they want to stand up, always situations they find themselves suppress them. We need to be the kind of people who give them hope, support them, and I hope that now that they met in Rome, and then in their droves, and then in their continental groups, they've given hope to one another, so that when they come back, then they will really kindle that kind of energy as well, so that they can have hope again.
Thank you so much for that answer, Bishop. But now let's talk about the younger generation, the children, the school-going youths, for example. In his homily for the first Mass here in this plenary, Bishop Siphuka highlighted the fact that so many young people are kept away from church, from catechism, and this is because the government, or rather the Department of Education in countries like South Africa, have implemented this weekend schooling, especially when children are in their matric years or when youth are in their matric years. Let's talk about the impact that this has on early development in terms of Christianity, because even during the Synod Assembly, this was addressed, and it is indeed in the final document of the Synod, that formation begins right at home. From Assumption, formation begins. But now, how do we keep that formation going if come weekends, our young people are not attending catechism, are not going to church because they have to be at school?
To share with you, that's a very, very painful situation we find ourselves in as the leadership of the church, as the parents, as the leadership of the communities as well. Because I think the question of our kids who are always at school doesn't give them an opportunity to know that they can have connection between God and their own lives. God has been cut out. It's only about success, and what they drill in them is that you've got to pass your exams, you have to pass them well, without really taking care of their total person. So our kids are all geared only in passing exams and pass them well, but they've lost their humanity side. They've lost their divinity as well, because they are not taught anything like spirituality, like catechism, like the things that we used to be taught at schools. Saturdays now, it's only the teachers, they fill up their classes so that they keep the kids there in order sometimes to get money from the kids, not giving and planting anything faith to the kids. So our children are suffering as a result of that. It doesn't help us very much as a church, because once they lose that connection with the family, and then at school it's not even taught. We were taught that at school. We were praying at school. These are kids don't pray at school, because that's what the teachers don't do, and many of them don't do. Even if now you go to our Catholic schools, you begin to know that there's no angel said, there's no prayer said, because now the government seem to take that kind of thing. That is destroying the future. That's destroying the faith of our youth, and we need to do something about it, even if in a small scale, but we've got to begin to do something.
And so, speaking of doing something, what sort of concrete steps can the Catholic Church take in this regard to help form our young people from an early age, to ensure that our young people are being accompanied in this journey of life, journey of Christianity, of Catholicism? What sort of concrete steps can we take as a church?
I will just most probably make an example about my own diocese, Diocese of Queenstown, where I used to be in the cathedral and then in one of the communities. We did not wait for weekends for the catechism classes. On Friday after the school, then we used to take them and have an hour, and number of teachers would give them, number of catechism teachers would give them in the cathedral and in the churches some classes. But then some of our kids, of course, were not in these schools from the township where they were caught up. Some of them would come on Fridays. But then, I think we have to change the course as well, because we cannot always have them over the weekends. Fridays, we need to have parents who are helping the kids. What we did in some of the parishes, we said anyone who's going to have a child, most probably baptized, confirmed, they've got to be part of the teaching, so that at least this can continue even at home. It's not always getting a priority, because parents are always working, but we always try that the parents must be the teachers as well in the life of their children.
Well, Bishop Siphiwo, thank you so much for talking to us. Wishing you all of the best in your mission.
Thank you very much, Shaila. We're excited about the youth.